today we are going to study about isolated systems and non-isolated systems. So first of all, let's talk about an isolated system. The word isolated means alone. So if something is alone, it is not acted upon by any force, that kind of a system will be an isolated system. So it means that the external force on any object, let us say this is the object and it has some mass m and it has some energy, and if there is no external force, the energy of the system will never change. Whatsoever energy it has, it will always remain with this object, because nothing is transferring energy into the system, nothing is taking energy out of the system. So whatever energy it has, it will stay constant. And if this is the situation, then such a system is called isolated system. So if something is constant, then delta of that quantity will be equal to 0. Delta means change in energy. So if energy is constant, change in energy will be equal to 0. So if there is a system where change in energy is 0 and there is no force acting on the system, external force, then such a system is called an isolated system. On the other hand, in a non-isolated system, it means that the system is not alone. It is in contact with something. So let us say that if you have an object and if there is some external force acting on this object, then the velocity of this object or energy of this object, it will change. So if the energy of this object will change because of this external force, then such a system is called non-isolated system, because this system is being acted upon by some external force. So in this case, we can say that the external force will not be equal to 0. It will have some value. So now whatever the energy of the system will be, it will not be constant. It will change. And how much the change will be, it will depend upon this force. So this change in energy will depend upon whatever energy this force creates. So we can say that all the transfer mechanisms or transfer processes, energy could be changed if there is some transfer process. Like in this situation, there is force. So if there is force, it will create work done. So change in energy will be equal to work done. So because force, we cannot write this side because energy should be equated to energy. So it will be work, and so force will create some displacement and it will give rise to work. In a similar manner, suppose that this object is being acted upon by something and it gets heated up. You heat the object, and so the object is in contact with some source of heat. So due to this, the energy of the system will increase. The atoms or molecules, they will start moving with higher and higher energy. And therefore, we can say that the entire energy of the system will change. So even heat can change the energy of system. So let us say that we use the symbol Q for heat. Also, suppose that now the system gets acted upon by an electromagnetic wave. Now how do we explain it? Let us say that there is some light falling on this object. So when light falls on this object and you concentrate the light, suppose there is sunlight and you concentrate it with the lens. So if a concentrated light falls on the object, it will still get heated up. And if it gets heated up, it means that the energy will still increase, or it will change in certain manner. So it means that now light is actually electromagnetic waves. So the change in energy could also be transferred due to electromagnetic waves. So let me say that I use a symbol EM for electromagnetic waves. Okay. Also, and this change could take place by using electricity. Let us say you have this object and you attach it to 220 volts of voltage. Okay, and some current flows through this object. It might get heated, it might get cooled, it might produce some light. So it means that again the energy of the system, it will change. It might increase, it might decrease. Okay, so it means that again the change in energy will take place due to the electric current passing through this object. So we can say that if this object is in contact with some electrical transmission, ET, then also the energy of the system can change. Also, biomechanical waves. Let us say that if this object is glass and a very high amount of sound is produced near this glass. So there is a source of sound, and a huge amount of sound passes. There's a source of sound which passes by this glass, and this sound is very, very loud sound. Very loud sound. Then there is a possibility that this glass will break. Okay. So it means these waves, they are also changing the energy of the system. So energy might increase or decrease. So we say that these sound waves are actually mechanical waves. So another way of transfer would be mechanical waves. And another way of transfer could be matter waves. Let us say that if matter waves means like gasoline is a way of transferring energy. You can just take gasoline and move from one place to the other. So gasoline is a type of matter transfer. So maybe I'll use MT for it. MT means matter transfer. So there is a change in energy if there is some external force acting, if the system is heated, or it is some electromagnetic rays fall on the object, it is transmitted, it is connected to some electricity, and so on. So in both these situations, here delta E was 0, but here delta E is not 0. While here external force is 0, but in this situation external force might not be 0. Okay? It might be and it might not be 0, taking in different situations.